Jason, what about the Nats and the Libs? Should the Libs be keen to reform that partnership, or would it actually benefit both parties now to have a little bit of time apart?
Well, it certainly benefits the Liberal Party, that's for sure. I mean, I'm really...
Yeah. Is the danger, though, the further apart they are, they get used to being apart?
To who? It's not a danger to the Liberal Party. I mean, the National Party has behaved poorly and appallingly, more than twice in the last year alone. While I was in Canberra, there were a whole bunch of things that they did which I think really goes to just bad bona fides or no bona fides. Let us never forget that the reason that Australian electoral law breaches the one person, one vote rule in the lower house is because Barnaby Joyce said that he would cross the floor if we didn't give the Labor Party more seats in the Northern Territory. And Scott Morrison caved to that. That's just one example. Like the railway line that goes through Barnaby's electorate. I mean, there are just billions and billions of dollars that have been spent to support the National Party. And yet, for the way that David Littleproud and Bridget McKenzie and others behaved during last week, I don't think there's a person left in the Canberra Press Gallery who doesn't believe that it was appalling. And I think that they need to go and sort themselves out. I mean, irony of ironies is the reason that One Nation is doing so well is because the National Party keeps trying to outflank them. Who in the National Party wanted to do that? Well, none other than Keith Pitt and Barnaby Joyce. And maybe Patrick can explain to us how Keith Pitt, a National Party MP from Central Queensland, got the plum job from Anthony Albanese as ambassador to the Holy See. I think that's an appointment that many of us have looked at quizzically for quite some time. And now Barnaby's gone and joined One Nation. So, yes, I think the longer our parties are separate, the better it is for the Liberal Party. And if the National Party wants to come back, it will have to be after they have conceded that they have learnt a lot of lessons from the last decade or so.
Is it possible that for the Liberal Party, I'll focus on them for now, it will be better to be apart, it can campaign how it wants, have its policies, and perhaps win back disaffected voters who might have been put off by the Nats? Or is that going to be delusional because you're not one true opposition? Like, is that a question mark? You said yes. Is that a question mark? I think that's, if they stay apart, that's going to be the fascinating aspect about this. Will people go, I'm voting for this party, and then wait and see if they somehow are going to form government? It seems unlikely. Yeah.
Tom, everywhere you look, so like you go and look at Port Macquarie, which is a state seat in New South Wales, and there was a National Party member who couldn't cope with John Barilaro as leader, so she became a Liberal member. That allowed the Liberals to run in that seat. The National Party literally broke the coalition agreement to run a candidate against the Liberal Party both at the general election and then at the by-election. On both occasions, despite spending of 10 to 1, the National Party failed to win. I suspect if we start putting candidates in many of those rural and regional seats that are by the sea, and indeed many inner or country seats as well, away from the coast, that will see a lot of the National Party seats fall to the Liberal Party. This is a party that received 3.2, 3.3. I mean, Patrick's much better on numbers than I am, but 3.3% of the national vote. They are the people who in Bullwinkle were instructing people voting for the National Party to preference the Labor Party over the Liberals, because they preferred to...
I wish they were, Jason. That's not factually true. I wish the National Party was preferencing us in Bullwinkle.
Well, Patrick, I'm about to ask you a question, which I suspect you will dance around and not directly answer, because the answer to the question will undermine your contention, which is...
Make it a quick one.
What was the preference flow from the National Party vote in Bullwinkle, Liberal versus Labor?
Oh, I wish it was much higher to Labor, and I wish that for every preference flow from every party.
Yeah, it leaked substantially to the Labor. The Labor Party got elected in Bullwinkle off the back of National Party.
Right. Let's be clear. Jason, there's one thing very clear. The Liberal Party and the National Party have hated each other for years, if not decades.
No, that's not
You're
true.
at least
That's not
finally
true.
being honest about it.
That is,
All right.
No, that is absolutely
We've got to leave it
untrue,
there.
Patrick.
We're going to pick this up. I do need to have a job next week. We're going to leave it there for the number I do know. I better keep my day job is the Nats got 3.8% at the last election, but that doesn't include what they picked up of the LNP, which is Liberal National Party Queensland, which was 7.1. So there you go. Jason, Patrick, thank you.
Thanks,
talk
Tom.
next week.